Hello, and welcome to Friday S.T.E.A.M with the Warren County Library System. My name is Sandy Roberts, and I'm the Makerspace Coordinator for the Warren County Library System. Every week, we bring you science, technology, engineering, art, and math, all mashed into fun, creative projects that you can do from home. So make sure that you check this out every week at 4 p.m., all throughout summer reading. So what is today's project? Today is a paper plate light-up UFO. This is a really fun one to make on a summer night and go outside and fling around the yard because it looks really cool as it flies. And it's easy to make out of very common materials. So let's talk about what you're going to need for today. Okay, getting my tray. So first things first, you need something to build your UFO out of. And there's a lot of different options. So you can kind of look around your house and see what you can find. You can do your basic foam plates put together, make a nice UFO, as do paper plates. You put those together. That makes a really great UFO, right? You got to want it that shape. You can do together a bowl and plate combination if you want something more rounded. And then I found these are like little clear plastic plates. That is one heck of a cool looking UFO, don't you think? That'll look really neat. And then I also have these are tops to takeout containers that you can use. Now, your goal with all of this is to make something that's an aerodynamic shape. You want the air to flow over your UFO pretty uniformly top to bottom. You're basically going for a frisbee kind of form in your UFO. So think about that as you create your UFO, and you might want to test a couple of different things to give you different shapes to see how they fly. Okay, so you're going to need your body. Then you're going to need your kind of a little cockpit, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to have our basic UFO, and then we want to have like a little cockpit up here that the light can come out from. So to do that, something clear is often best. I've got a clear plastic cup here. This is another one that's kind of like almost more of a chinette kind of a thing. This is a little thing I saved from a restaurant. Okay, so it's like a square shape instead. This was actually like a little salad dressing container that came with some takeout. Save that. That works really nicely. I think that might be my favorite right now. That'll look pretty cool as a cockpit, right? And then if you don't have totally clear, you can try something like, almost clear. You get kind of an opaque look with a plastic cup like that. Or if you have sitting around, some water bottles have really cool bottoms to them that you can cut off and use as your cockpit. And this one, I like that shape. That would really diffract the light really neat. So you need some kind of a cockpit where you can put your lights. Okay. Speaking of lights, we need to light this up. Couple ways you can go here. One of the easiest ways is you can get these glow sticks, and they're made to be like bracelets that you can wear, but they work really well on this. In fact, I love to take them and bend them so that they fit around the edge of our UFO. So that's really fun. You can just kind of like use clear tape to tape them into place. So that's really cool. But if you want to go for an electrical circuit, you can take a little tealight, and I will show you how to hack that so you can get the light out of it. Heck, you can just take this tealight and tape it right inside your UFO, and boom, instant light. Or if you have access to, I love using these nice big LEDs. They're called gumdrop LEDs. They're 10 millimeter LEDs. And LEDs are light emitting diodes. They're like tiny little light bulbs, and we're going to talk about how they work in a moment. So these are really great. But to use this, you're going to need one of these coin cell batteries. These are CR2032, CR2025 will also work. You can get these at the grocery store. You can get them at some of the dollar stores, things like that. So these work really well. But I'm going to show you how to hack the tealight too, to get the same parts if you don't have these on hand. Now, if you want to build a switch for your UFO, so you can turn the light on and off with your lights, you will also need a little bit of aluminum foil, copper tape, or something along those lines. And you'll need a paper clip and some brass fasteners, paper fasteners. And I'll show you how to do that. So that's the stuff. Now, tools. We are going to need a pair of scissors. Okay. You might also, if you have like a cardboard cutter or something like that, or if you're comfortable with a craft knife, you can try that. You will need a pencil to trace. And if you are going to hack a tea light, you will also need, at the very least, a screwdriver, possibly a pair of needle nose pliers. So that really comes down to you. And then we need some way to attach our UFO pieces together. Lots of options. You can get a stapler out and just staple it all together. You can use tape, which is what I'm going to do today. A little bit of duct tape, masking tape, or my favorite, clear tape for this project. Work really well. If you prefer, glue or hot glue work very well too. So I'm going to go for the easiest option of just using some tape today, because I'm going to keep this pretty simple. But I want to show you some ways that you can kind of upgrade from your starter project to really kind of make it your own. And then, of course, you might want some supplies to decorate. Stickers, markers, glitter. Glitter's a really good one. Aluminum foil. If you cover the whole thing with aluminum foil, it looks really cool because it all shines. So that's something that most of us have around the house. You could cover it with wrapping paper. You can cover it with sequins. You can have a really good time and just make it look really, really cool. And I will tell you that most permanent markers will draw on aluminum foil. So if you want to cover with aluminum foil and then draw on it to add extra features, you can do that too. And if you happen to have like a tiny little alien figure that you want to put in your cockpit to add some extra detail, awesome. Or maybe you can make one out of clay. Okay, so that's our supplies for today. I'm going to switch us over to our document camera so we can get building. Okay, hi. All right, I got to clean up my area. I've got all this stuff here. Got to choose what I want to use as my plates, and I'm going to go for the classic version of 2 paper plates today because I want to keep it simple. I'm just going to get the rest out of the way. So you don't want to go straight to attaching these. We want to add our cockpit to our top first. So what we're going to do is pick our cockpit, and I think I'm going to go with this little dressing container that I mentioned before. I like the way that looks. It's got like a little bit of cloudiness to it, but not too much. I'm going to get myself a pencil, and I'm just going to very simply, okay, trace, kind of center it. And if you want to, never a bad idea, ruler. So we can see that this plate is 8 3/4. So about 4 and maybe 1/4 across is going to be about center. Okay, so you can kind of mark that and get a sense of where center is. And you can do that in the other direction too. It's actually going to be 4 and a little bit more, but kind of just, I'm not trying to be perfect about it. You know, I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want this to be. Okay, so now I've got the basic center. Just going to put my cockpit, my clear cup on top. Now, depending on what you're using, you may end up with, something like this is much taller. So you're going to have to kind of figure out how that's going to work. That's a little bit of the engineering that comes into this project. So you may have to go through a couple prototypes, and that's okay. Especially with paper plates, they're pretty inexpensive. Okay, so now I've traced that. I'm going to get my scissors and carefully working on a surface where I can. I'm going to poke a hole. And I am going to cut. So let's see. Cutting a nice circle. I want to keep it maybe a little bit smaller than the actual piece because I want to keep it from falling out, honestly. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So that's cut out, and you can spend the time if you want to make that nice and neat. Okay. And again, if you have a craft knife, you may find that that's easier to use. Totally up to you. Now I'm going to take my cup and I'm just going to slide it in from underneath. Okay. I'm going to get some tape. Like I said, I'm going to use some clear tape here. Ooh, my clear tape's not in great shape there. a mess. Okay, a little bit of clear tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just, see I'm putting it over the corner there. And then kind of lifting up my plate and just folding it over, right? I'm going to do that on like 4 sides to make sure it stays well. You don't have to tape every single little bit for this. Okay, you don't have to like go crazy with tape. You can. If you like playing with tape, go nuts. Have fun. You do you. But you don't have to. You know, like I found that this holds together pretty well with just a little bit of tape. Okay. And one more piece. There we go. So I just basically did kind of, 4 kind of corners, basically. And there we go. So now that's attached well. Well, now I'm going to want to go ahead and add some of my lights. So let's take 1 second to learn a little bit about our glowing creations here. So let's learn some science. Coming over to my screen capture. Oh dear. Yeah, here we go. So when we talk about glow sticks, which is the first thing that we're going to attach, inside your glow stick, there's actually a tiny little glass tube with hydrogen peroxide, and then this phenol-oxalate ester fluorescent dye solution that's in the rest of the liquid. And when you snap it, that snap that you hear is actually breaking the glass inside. And the plastic tubing then holds everything. That hydrogen peroxide reacts with the other chemicals in here, and that's what actually creates the glow. How's that work? Well, there's some pretty complex chemistry there. Basically, you have that peroxide plus the dye react and create actually a little bit of carbon dioxide and the excited dye. And what that means is that this chemical reaction actually emits, fluoresces light. So it actually takes that energy and transforms it into light energy. Okay. And the different dyes make different colors. So they're all different. Each one's special and different. So that's what's going on. It's actually a pretty complex chemical reaction. If you ever break open your glow stick, you want to be very careful because, like I said, there are small pieces of glass in there. So you want to be very careful about that. But that's how that works. So that's what we call a chemiluminescent reaction. But there's also the LED, which is our electrical circuit. Okay. You can see here, this is our battery. Okay. So our battery has a positive and a negative side. And what's going to happen is the electrons are going to flow from the negative side of the battery around through the circuit and into our LED. And in the LED, there's 2 layers. And when they come together, when the positively charged particles and hit the silicone layer in there, this active layer, it actually reacts, and it's no chemical reaction. It's actually just exciting the silicone in there. And the silicone is releasing the LED or releasing the electrons, which causes light. So this is an electrical radiance situation that's being caused by the energy of electricity actually exciting the tiny little particles inside the LED. You can kind of think of it a little bit like if you eat a whole lot of sugar, you're going to want to jump around. Well, if you get a whole lot of electricity in your silicone, you're going to want to glow. And that's basically how that works. Okay. So that was our little bit of science. Let's get to the fun building part, right? So we're going to use our chemiluminescent reaction first. And I'm just going to snap these so that they glow. You want to make them react first because you can't really do it once you put them on. And like I said, I like to just take a little bit of tape and attach them on my plate like so. That's pretty easy to do. Okay, I'm just going to take another piece of tape over here. Ta-da, like that. Take a little piece of tape, stick it down, and we're good to go. And I can even put a third piece here if I want in the center. Okay. So that's attached. And now I could go all the way around. I'm just, for the sake of time, just going to do 2. And I know that I'm in a very bright space. You can't really see my UFO lighting up yet, but I will try to share a shot with you at the very end so you can see that. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing. A little bit of tape and a little bit of tape over here. Okay, great. So now I've got my chemical reaction going that's going to keep this lit up, my chemiluminescent. Let's do our electrical circuit to make the rest light up. Okay, so how do we do that? If you are hacking a tealight, here's how you do that. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to zoom in so you see what I'm doing a little better. Okay. I need to get out a screwdriver. And you're going to need a pretty tiny head for your screwdriver. So like eyeglasses, one that, a screwdriver made for eyeglasses is really good. You're just going to undo the screw. Ta-da! There we go. Pop that out. And then you're just going to get that battery out. Sometimes they're easier than others. They're all just a little bit different with these, but you can get these 2 for $1 at the dollar store. They're very inexpensive. You can buy them in larger quantities if you enjoy places like craft stores like Michael's. Okay, there we go. Come on, this battery does not want to come out. This battery's like, nope, I like being where I am. There we go. So this is what I meant by a coin cell battery. This is the positive side, and this is the negative side, okay? Electricity has to flow in a direction. I don't need this part. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. I want this part because right here is the LED. And you can see this one happens to be soldered in. So I'm going to have to get some clippers. Where are my clippers? You can use scissors for this too. Scissors will cut this out just fine. But I happen to have some wire cutters. Sometimes they're not soldered in, and then it's nice and easy. And there we go. I'm just going to lift that right out. You can discard the rest. Now, normally when we have an LED like this one, it has a long leg and a short leg. And the long leg is the positive side and the short leg is the negative side. And so we know easily that we have to put the positive side of the battery with the positive side of the LED. And that causes it to light up. The flow of electrons go through the LED. It activates and energizes the silicone in the center there, and it lights up. A little harder when you harvest one from an LED. You kind of have to play with it and see, okay, which side is which. Okay, there we go. Now I know that this is my positive leg. And you can just take this at this point, take a little bit of tape, wrap it around here, and make what we call an LED throwy. So that you could then put right into your cockpit of your UFO. Boom, you're good to go. You've got a great creation. If you've got access to these nice big gumdrop LEDs, which are my favorite, again, a little bit of tape it in there, seal it all up, you are good to go. But if you want to make a switch, I can show you how to do that. It does mean we have to be a little bit more complicated because we're going to attach our LED here, okay, and we're going to have to make a whole circuit. And like I said, you can just put yours in, done, right? I'm just going to show you if you want to make this a little more interesting, you can. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape. Okay. And tape down my LED in the spot where I want it. And you can see I'm being very careful not to tape over the legs. And I was careful to pay attention to which side was positive and which side was negative. So this is my positive. Oh, that's not showing up too well. That's my positive and that's my negative. So I'm marking that so I know. Okay. Here's what I need to do. I am now going to find I'm using Maker tape, which is pretty neat stuff. You don't have to use Maker tape though, like at all. You can just use aluminum foil for this. You can use adhesive copper tape, which they sell in electronics kits and they even sell like in the store. But basically the idea is that this is made out of a metallic material and it's got an adhesive on the back, a sticky like Scotch tape on the back. So we can use this to create a circuit. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm also going to grab 2 paper fasteners. Okay. These are going to let us connect from inside to outside. And that's really important because we got to be able to connect our circuit. We're going to have a switch. So I'm going to start by just, you know what? I'm going to use my pencil. Okay, so I'm making a hole there. I'm going to get my paper clip so I know how big to make this. Okay. I'm going to use, where'd my pencil go? I am going to mark where that goes and put a second hole like that. And my brass fastener over the paper clip and in. And I'm going to go ahead and do like that. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, I'm using the big LED. You do not have to use the big LED. You can use the LED that you harvested from your tealight for this. It'll work just the same. Just the same. Okay. So now I've got the 2 pieces that will become my switch. And all I need to do now is wire in my battery. So how am I going to do that? I am going to get a little bit of this Maker tape that I mentioned before. And I am going to use it to attach my negative side. Let me think about this for a second. Come on, I'm trying to get my tape here. Oh my goodness, it's being difficult. This is actually easier with aluminum foil, so I apologize. It's taking me a little while here. Okay, I think I've got it. I got it. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, I don't have very good fingernails right now. I've been biting my nails. Not good, not a good habit, especially right now. I finally got it. Finally got it. Starting a new roll is always tough. Okay, so I'm going to go from my negative side to the center, and I'm going to just cut that. Cut my tape. And again, copper tape, aluminum foil, both will work with this. I just really like Maker tape. It's very easy to use. It's made by this company, for those that are confused or curious, Brown Dog Gadgets. You can find them online, browndoggadgets.com. I don't get anything for mentioning this. I'm just saying it because I like their product. But they sell all this great stuff and lots of really cool kits. We're using some stuff from their paper circuits kit. So that's where I got this from. In case you're curious, like, wow, where do I get this cool stuff, Sandy? That's where. Nice company, nice local guys, good educators. They really are doing a good job. Independent company made right here in America. Okay, so now what I've done is I've taken a little piece and I've got the sticky side out and I fold it over. Okay, sticky side up, and I'm going to put that right here. Okay, and now I'm going to put my battery, and I'm going to be sure that my negative, my rough side, is sticking down. And I do not want to, this is really important, do not touch this other brass fastener. Okay, so now I'm going to need a little more of my tape, and I probably should have done all one piece, but I didn't really think of it. So now I'm going to connect, and again, I'm not connecting to the top of my battery. I'm connecting a little bit of my tape here, and I'm just going to come around, kind of fold it a little bit. This is the tricky part, folding it. And come to my LED. Okay. So now I want to make sure that I'm touching my LED leg as much as I can. So I am, see how I'm folding that over and like pressing it down onto that leg? And you can kind of see that lead is now stuck really well to that tape. And again, I don't want that tape to go across to the other side. When you do that sort of thing, it what we call shorts the circuit. And that means that it will let the energy just skip the LED completely. It'll just skip our little light and it will just go right around to the battery again. And we don't want that. We want to be able to actually light this up. Okay. Now I'm going to do basically the same thing on the other side. Okay. So I'm going to take a little piece of tape and go from my positive to my brass fastener. Remember, I want everything to be going to the brass because I want to use that as my switch. That's why we're doing this. I know it might seem kind of overly complicated here, but there is a method to our madness. And when you're making UFOs, you got to be a little bit crazy, right? A little bit crazy. Okay. And coming in again. Can I get my tape? Okay. And I'm going to come from this. I'm going to go straight up here. Look, that's nice and easy. Oh, I'm light up. That means that I have not created my switch. Oh dear. That means I've crossed my circuit. Oh, well, I have crossed my circuit right there. How do I want to do this? I think I messed up my circuit, guys. Don't you hate it when that happens? Oh, no. Okay. No, we are good. And cut. Okay. There we go. All right. And you can add a little bit of extra if you wanted to. Getting this out of the way. So when I short the circuit, basically. So when it's open, close it, and that's going to turn it off. Now, you can do this the opposite way around. Why did I do it this way? Because when this is flying around, it's really likely for that to pop. Whereas when you're going to have it sitting around, it's very easy to make sure it stays locked. So normally I would do it the other way. That closed like this would turn it on, and open would break it. But when I was playing with it, I discovered that this very often wobbles out and it stops being lit up. So I figured go with it being wobbled out, right? Because that's more what we want anyway. Okay, so that way you can have a switch and you can turn off your battery and you can preserve it. But like I said, you don't have to add the switch. You can just add your light and say, I am good and done. Okay, just going to clean up my screwdriver real quick because I don't want to lose my pieces. Trying to learn to clean up after myself. All right, so now I've got this kind of done. I could decorate it all I want, or I could go straight to the putting it all together. And I'm just going to, once again, I'm just going to go ahead with my tape. Let me zoom out just a little bit more for you. Going ahead and just using a bit of tape. Now, how much you use is really up to you. I will tell you, if you take the time to seal this up really nicely and go all the way around the edges, it will fly better because you'll get less resistance. And this is where it's actually nice if you have some duct tape that you like, especially like a metallic duct tape. You can use that and it will give you a really nice seal around your UFO. But that's, up to you. It's your UFO. It's your time to experiment and try. Okay, so there we go. My basic UFO is now ready to fly. Pretty cool, right? I'm going to take it into a dark room and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's our UFO. I hope that you make one too. Even if you do something as simple as adding glow sticks or as complicated as adding a circuit, it's 100% up to you. You can hack a tealight, you can order parts. Again, it's whatever that you want to do. But I hope that you will make a fun UFO to fly outside on a summer night. Take some pictures. And if you can, there are apps called long exposure apps that basically leave your camera lens open while for a few seconds. And what that does is if you fly this and take a picture with one of those apps, you will see the light basically move and it will like paint with light on your screen. So check that out too. It's really fun to do. And I will try and share a picture of that as well, maybe in the comments. All right, so that is your UFO. My name is Sandy Roberts, and I'm the Makerspace Coordinator for the Warren County Library System. I'm so thankful that you came and visited with us today. Please make sure that you check out our website, okay, at warrenlib.org. We've got summer reading. We have got all kinds of different events, everything from magicians to animals to story times, all my fun STEM stuff. So there's a ton of great events that you can check out there. Register, come back to Facebook, come back to our YouTube channel, and we archive everything. So if you miss something, you can check out a lot of our videos online anytime. We may not be able to be together at the library quite yet, but in the meantime, we are so happy to be able to connect with you online and share all these wonderful projects and experiences with you. Until we can be together in the makerspace, I just want to say, stay safe, stay healthy, keep making and keep learning. Take care, and I'll see you next week.